The recent escalation in United States-India tensions, marked by former President Donald Trump's imposition of punitive tariffs on Indian imports, centers primarily on India's continued economic ties with Russia, especially its purchase of Russian oil. This move by Trump can be understood within a broader context of American strategy aimed at containing the rise of global powers that could challenge United States dominance. Why did Trump threaten India? Trump's administration sanctioned India with an additional 25% tariff on Indian goods, stacking onto an existing 25% tariff, leading to a cumulative 50% tariff, the highest imposed by the United States on India. The official rationale invoked national security concerns tied to Russia's ongoing military actions in Ukraine. Trump argued that India's continued purchase of Russian oil and military equipment, despite global sanctions efforts against Russia, posed an unusual and significant threat to United States foreign policy interests. By imposing harsh tariffs, Trump essentially sought to pressure India to reduce its economic engagement with Russia and choose a side aligned with United States interests during the Russia-Ukraine conflict. India responded by condemning these tariffs as unfair and inconsistent, noting that other countries also trade with Russia without facing similar penalties. New Delhi emphasized that its imports were grounded in national security and the needs of its 1.4 billion population. United States' strategy to contain the rise of global powers. Trump's foreign policy, particularly in his second term, reflected a sharp focus on great power competition, primarily targeting China and Russia as strategic rivals to United States' global dominance. Containment strategies used historically by the United States, notably during the Cold War against the Soviet Union, involved economic, military, and diplomatic measures to prevent adversaries from expanding their influence. Trump's tariffs on India can be seen as an extension of this ethos, signaling to emerging powers that their rise, if perceived as a threat, would be met with economic sanctions and diplomatic pressures. China experts warn that just as the United States strategically contained Japan's rise during the mid-20th century through post-World War II occupation reforms and alliances, India might be the next target in America's global containment strategy. Historically, the United States transformed Japan's political and economic structures to prevent future military aggression and, to integrate Japan as a key United States ally in Asia. This containment was not simply military, but also institutional and economic, aimed at curbing Japan's sovereign autonomy. Similarly, China experts see India's growing strategic and economic potential as making it a focal point for United States influence efforts. The United States has been deepening defense and trade ties with India as a counterbalance to China's regional dominance. However, there is concern that this alignment could erode India's traditional strategic autonomy, the ability to make independent foreign policy choices without undue external influence. Indian analysts and, some Chinese observers note that closer ties with the United States risk making India vulnerable to American pressure on core issues, such as Kashmir or its nuclear program, echoing past fears about alliances compromising national sovereignty. Why India must keep an eye on the United States. India's historical experience with the United States, honestly, underscores the need for caution. Back in 1971, during the India-Pakistan War, the United States sent warships to the Bay of Bengal to intimidate India, marking a low point in bilateral ties. Trump's recent embrace of Pakistan, including hosting its army chief and signing deals in cryptocurrency and oil, has further strained India's trust, especially given his claim of brokering an India-Pakistan ceasefire in May 2025. In truth, he did not perform that action. These actions really reinforce perceptions of United States unreliability, as articulated by foreign policy. Deference to the United States earns nothing, while defiance invites penalty. In short, Trump's threats against India reflect a mix of frustration over Russia's war in Ukraine, a desire to assert United States economic leverage, and a broader strategy to manage rising powers. By targeting India's Russia ties, Trump risks alienating a key partner in Asia. As history shows, America's reliability as a partner is not guaranteed, and India's rise as a global power requires vigilance to avoid becoming the next target of containment. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video.